operating number. I was told that everything's the same. But I just haven't gone through each line item, so.
Well, we don't have to go through each line item either.
I didn't think you would. What I was thinking, if it's all right with everybody here, if we go through the presentation, basically the same presentation we gave to the Board of Selectmen, that hits the high points.
Great.
And feel free to interrupt us at any point in time. And
I think Mike and I have been through it enough times. We probably could write it.
Right. But I do think, especially from Mike Rogers is new. Have you met everybody here? Okay, great. And so I think it would be very beneficial to go through the presentation. I have a copy of this, like a hard copy, because at yesterday's meeting with Tiger, Tucker brought down just individual sheets, but I do think it's on your tablet. Apparently, Tucker posted the approved Board of Selectmen. So if you want, I think you have a way to follow along.
Is there any way you can put it on the screen so we can all follow along?
I can put the presentation on.
Yes. Yeah, that's what
Yes.
Yeah.
Coming in 2 seconds.
Great.
And so maybe do I have to, Penny? I have to formally say welcome to the New Canaan Town Council Board of Finance Parks and Recreation Subcommittee meeting budget.
Sure.
Oh, I have a question. Is it okay with you if we ask the question as we go along?
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah, feel free.
And Mike, that goes for you too.
Yeah.
Anything you need clarification on?
Okay. This should pop up. Yep, there. Yep. Okay. You guys have that, right? So.
Yes, I see it. Thank you.
Perfect. So,
I just tell you that your screen is going to look like I'm not looking at you, because I'm not. I'm pulling it up on my other computer, which has a bigger screen.
Okay.
So I'm with you. I'm not looking at you.
Yeah. Okay. So, very simply, we have both the parks and the recreation budgets that we'd like to talk about. But very simply, our team, not going to go through everything, but we have had a few changes. We had a retirement in the rec office, which has had us bring in a new woman, Nancy, working out great. She ran our summer camp for a number of years, so that's good. The other stuff in Ryan's department, of course, Ryan has taken over as the park superintendent, and he has Jeff Pinella underneath him. But the best part of Ryan's department right now is we've had a couple of retirees, and we've been able to bring in a couple of new people, and he has a very strong department and has been doing a great job getting through this winter. So we're very happy about that.
Great.
So under park maintenance, so this is all the maintenance of the schools and the park grounds. We're looking at a 3.2% increase overall. And the main two drivers of that are salaries, full-time and overtime, and then grass treatments. So this year, it was being projected to us that we're looking at about a 9% increase in the cost of grass seed, fertilizer, all those turf type products. We only are asking for 7% increase, because the one thing we want to do with the addition of Jeff, Ryan's assistant, we want to take over in-house instead of hiring a contractor, the small properties. When we talk about small properties, we mean town hall lawn, in front of Waveney Castle, not the athletic fields. We'll still subcontract the applications of those properties out. But so that's why we're looking at 17% increase.
Are the
7%.
7%.
Yeah.
are the treatments organic or are they chemical?
We work on a basic organic program. With that said, on our parks fields, we do one pesticide application a year for broadleaf weeds, scrubs, that type of stuff. But it's one a year. We do that at the end of June. So after our programs are over for the spring season, before everything starts up the next year. State law requires us not to be organic on the school grounds, but no pesticides. So they're two different things.
Okay.
which we could spend, I'd be glad to spend more time discussing that with you some other
I know you
time, but
can't do crabgrass organically, but basically everything else should be able to be.
we can, and when we get to the capital, one of the pieces of equipment we want to try to purchase is that will remove a lot of broadleaf weeds.
Okay.
So, but we'll get down there, so. So,
So, and just the salaries and overtime, I remember last year, there was, a discussion about a certain time of day for it was the geese. Is that still an issue of like,
we have money in the budget for geese control, that's a
That's
contractor that comes. It falls into our outside services contractors budget, which is about a quarter of the way down.
okay, yeah.
Yeah, and it's in that whole budget, it's not a big purchase. What we added was both Saks Fields and the high school, and that's working very well.
Use dogs.
We use a company that has the
Use
dogs.
somebody, yes.
Yes, it actually happens to be Geese Relief. They were the low bidder, and they've been doing a great job. Because for many years now, we've been doing Mead Park. And at Mead Park, they do even more because they also take care of addling the eggs that we used to do in-house, so.
Okay, sorry for that.
That's fine. Don't ever worry about interrupting us. So, you might see in your budget books, Rex and activity. Last year, the only reason it's in there, will be the next page.
Okay.
They might not have even included that.
I don't have the complete budget, this was from yesterday, I don't know if it's on this, so let me hear what you have to say about
Okay.
it.
Rec civic activity, it used to be things like, we have porta potty expenses in there, Memorial Day Memorial Day parade expenses, that type of stuff. We've absorbed those numbers into other budgets. So there's nothing there, there's no action.
Oh, that was last,
Yeah, that was last year, but they still, now we're going to rec administration. I was just mentioning it because I didn't.
okay, wait, I'm sorry, so explain what is missing, that is not.
It was a category like Parks Department and Parks Maintenance. This was rec civic activity, it was called.
Okay.
And that included our porta potties. So in 2025, the cost of porta potties went to this budget.
Mhm.
We've transferred that money into the parks budget, but that happened over a year ago.
Okay.
So I just didn't want to skim by it, but if you had it.
Okay.
So
Thank you.
now, rec administration, you can see up there on the top, that looks like a 17.8% increase. If you truly just look at the numbers, that's correct. The difference is, and Mr. Chen will know this, the $100,000 credit that we give back from self-sustaining programs, which we'll get into the self-sustaining budget, is now no longer going to be a credit towards the recreation administration budget. The town's still getting the money, but they're putting it, the finance department is putting it in a different location. So we're truly looking for a 0.88% increase.
Wait, I'm confused, John.
I am
So
right.
because
I'm
the-
sorry.
Thank you.
Because they're putting the $100,000, not offsetting your recreation administration, right? But putting it somewhere else. Is it going to be a 17.8% increase then?
Only because it no longer shows a $100,000
Right.
credit. It's
Right.
a 0.88% increase is all we're looking for.
Right. The 0.88 is if you offset the $100,000 credit against it, right? Which you
If
did.
it was truly offset against
Right.
our budget.
But because it's not truly offset, you're actually going to show a 17.8% increase.
Unfortunately, yes.
Got it. Okay.
And what is that, like, what accounts for that? Like,
The 17.8 accounts for $100,000 offset. Because we're really looking for a $5,212 increase.
mhm.
But because we were all, our self-sustaining programs, which are all of our rec programs, before and after school things, programs like that. When we started that self-sustaining account, part of the plan was that we would always give back $100,000 to the town from those accounts. For such as Zach's being assistant recreation director is part of his salary, part of my salary, those costs to be given something back to help offset that. The finance department now wants that $100,000, even though it's coming back to the general fund, so the taxpayers are still getting it, so to speak. But they don't want it to show in the recreation administration budget.
So is your rec administration actually growing 17.8% for getting the credit? Is it actually growing 17.8%?
It's growing 0.88%. But on your sheets, it will look like it's 17.8. The budget
Because the $100,000 is not coming in too.
not coming in.
Okay.
So it shows we're getting $105,212 increase. But really, the 100,000 of that is just because the finance department's crediting it someplace else.
Well, versus last year, where you're saying last year.
Versus last year, correct.
Okay, so that's the main thing I understand. So you're not really growing 17.8%. It's just last year you got $100,000 credit, which reduced your administration expense by 100,000. This year you're not going to get that credit for 100,000, so you're not reducing it. So on an apples to apples comparison, right? You're only growing 0.88%. Is that what you're saying?
You're correct. Yep.
Got it. Okay, because it looks. I just want to make sure when I tell the rest of the board of finance, like, no, they're not growing 17.8%. They're growing 0.88. But last year there was a credit of 100,000 that they're not getting credit for this year.
Exactly. Yep.
Okay.
And I'd love you to explain that to them.
What was the number? What was the number last year? The actual dollar number last year before the credit? Your budget?
Last year, 26, 5, revised.
It must be around.
Yeah, 590,276.
Well, that's after the credit. So before the credit, is it 690?
685, 543.
685. So you're just going from 685 to 695. Is that right?
Exactly.
Okay, that's what I want to make sure. So your actual budget was 685 going to 695. You got the credit for 100,000, so it looked like it was 585 last year.
Yeah, somebody's budget's looking good because they're getting $100,000 credit all of a sudden.
But you don't know where that's going.
I do not know where.
And do you guys can still run everything, losing this 100K from your budget?
Yes, because the money was coming back to the town, so it's offsetting our budget. It's not like you took the 100,000 away from us.
Okay.
We were making 100,000 to give to you, so to speak.
We can put it.
Anyway.
You can put it anywhere you want, really.
Okay. And this is YCI and the Wise after school programs and all that?
No, this is all our rec department programs, and we'll go into all those programs too, later on, but it's our before and after school programs, our men's softball league, flag football, summer camp.
But your self-sustaining fund is more than 100,000, right? You get more than that?
Correct.
Yeah.
Definitely correct.
Okay.
And one of the discussions with the self-sustaining fund that came up in the Board of Selectmen was the fact that maybe some money from the weddings portion of that should be used for some of the kickback to use for some of the capital projects at Waveney House.
That was suggested by the Board of Selectmen.
By the Board of Selectmen. So,
yeah, I talked to Deanna about that. I just said I don't have a problem with doing that, but we just got to be careful that we got to understand what the capital is. A one-time thing, or is it what's it going for, and because otherwise it might not be an apples to apples comparison, right?
Right, and that's one of the concerns you had right from the start.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
Yep.
Okay.
So now we go into Waveney House, and this is expenses for Waveney House itself. It's not nothing to do really with weddings, except we maintain the house. So the main thing is salaries, which the reason we've gone up 14.2, where last year we went down, we finally got the salaries in the right place. The person that's working at Waveney House is being charged to Waveney House. Before that, it was a mess with Butch, who's a utility repairman now, and Rich, who takes care of the house. So that's why we had to go back up some. It was mainly the salaries, which includes Social Security and 401k. So.
you have any questions?
No,
Okay.
good.
No.
Paddle tennis, so a lot of paddle tennis goes into the self-sustaining program now, but it's still the maintenance of the courts. So the yearly, we try to paint one court a year, making sure the windscreens are tight, you know, propane for the heaters, that type of stuff. So that's why we're at the, you know, a -2%.
Whatever happened to the idea to build there was some landscaping proposal that, is that in the works anywhere?
The landscaping, as far as the patio,
Yeah.
is still being talked about. But we do want to give an update on pickleball courts there, just because we know that. Uh-oh, we lost him.
All of that was,
We lost
Oh,
him.
there-
Oh, he's back.
all of that, I remember that presentation and those extensive,
Yes, we had one slide.
but that's not,
We're not to be funded
Yeah.
now, but we have, we want to just. Michael's very interested in pickleball, and I don't know if you guys know, but it sounds like he just won a gold medal again.
Wow.
And not again, but I did win a gold medal. It's been 3 years, so it's not like I win it every week, John.
Yeah. So, but
so, and can I just ask a question, just because in the last 2 years, there have been like discussions about like some, you know, a lot of the enthusiasm with pickle, are you seeing dwindling numbers
No.
of people? Still with paddle, people are still,
paddle tennis is not as busy as it used to.
so it's
But
still.
we haven't seen it going down recently.
Mhm.
It went down a lot when pickle took over, so to speak. You take a winter like this, paddle tennis is coming back because they can't play pickle.
Yeah,
Mhm.
okay, that's interesting.
You know,
Question.
so, yeah, so I think a lot, we had a lot of beautiful Decembers.
Mhm.
And so by the time people stopped playing pickleball, and I'm being anecdotal here, but by the time they couldn't play pickleball anymore, they said, forget that, it's too late. You know,
But it's something to store, to remember like weather related as we go forward. It's not so simple just to say, well, the trend is just in this direction, you know.
I think we'd be jumping the gun to say, we
Yeah.
should stop with paddle tennis, it's still very popular, so. And the only reason we have a little bit of reduction is the voice data, which is, the numbers are done by the IT department, has reduced just a little bit. So going into park buildings, now. This 4% increase, the main driver is electricity. So with this budget, in this budget, our electricity for the water tower turf fields is all included in there. And that's the main driver, and it's not the increase of that we're using them more, it's that the facilities department is projecting 10% electricity increases for all our budgets.
Is it because of pricing or is it just increased usage overall?
Not increased usage, pricing only.
Wow.
Yeah, personally, I'm shocked that we're gonna be looking at a 10% increase with everything that's going on right now.
Yeah.
But that's what Bill Ostman in Public Works for buildings said we needed to put in there for an increase.
Wow.
Any,
Okay.
any thoughts on solar? They're doing it at the high school and the middle school, and they're apparently saving quite a bit of money.
Right now we have solar at the pool, which does help offset that some. But the only other thing is we have a CHP unit at Lapham Community Center, which is generates power, natural gas. You get the benefit of the heat off it. That's fairly new. Town hasn't been having great luck with some of the other ones that we have, but this one's working fine right now. So, the problem we have for like the electricity number.
So the electricity number is like a placeholder, it's a projection.
It's a projection.
Yeah.
And just so everybody knows, they don't we could transfer money between certain line items, we cannot ever transfer out of utilities. So utilities, if for some reason we only go up 6% in electricity, it's not like John, Ryan, Zach, and myself, we can take that money and use it to buy widgets or anything like that. It has to stay in the utilities. So if it's not spent, it's not spent.
And it just rolls over to.
We'll go back to the general fund, yep.
And how did it do in 2025? Did you spend it all?
since we don't generate the number. If we don't truly generate the number, we, electricity 2025. The actual was 130,000. We went for 139 in this budget. And now we're going to 153, you know. So 23, it was 137, then 125, then 130. Yeah,
It's a little padded.
I'd say it could be a little padded, but there's not much. When we adopted 139 in 26, that was, you know, right now, year to date, we've only spent 70,000, but I don't know when that year to date was. Was that even 6 months? You know, so. Okay. Back in community center, so. The highlight there is how much we've saved residents. So this year, almost $758,000 by Medicare signups. It's been very successful. You know, over the past 15 years, 4.5 million in savings to the residents of town. Lapham Community Center is not part of our self-sustaining programs. We keep it separate because we feel strongly that the seniors, most of the seniors in town, have probably brought their kids through the school system. They've been paying taxes for a lot of years, and we feel strongly that they should continue to have these things.
So so the programming is free to come in.
Most of the programming is free, not all of it, but
Even
you know,
even things like Pilates or sometimes you have exercise classes or those.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, but in general, we're not saying, okay, that class is gonna cost us $1,000 to run, so it's $100 each. Most of our programs are, you know, benefiting the seniors and not.
Mhm.
So wait a second, wait, but they have to have Medicare in order?
No, this is just the counseling for Medicare signups, one of the programs we offer. That's where we've saved the residents that money. Right now, that's the nice news that I have for you about what's happening at Lapham.
Well, wait, so you're helping them?
Michael, do you have Medicare?
No.
Okay, so when you go on Medicare, there's Medicare A, which is hospitalization, B, which is your physicians,
Right,
and D, which is your pharmacy.
right,
So you have to re-up every year
right.
on the D because the
Yeah.
various companies change what they cover
Right,
on
right.
medications. So this is the enrollment in D. And because our counselors who've been trained by the Area Agency on Aging know all the companies that are offering the programs, they know which ones have changed and which
Oh,
ones
I
are
see.
illuminating, you know, different prescriptions. And that's where the savings comes in when they advise you to
Oh,
change
I see, okay.
company.
Okay, so the
Okay.
advising is the benefit that the
It's
people
the
get.
advising, that's right.
Okay.
So if I had insurance company A this year, next year I'll have C, you know, and it's the difference between
Got it.
what I paid last year and what I will pay next year. That's the savings.
I'm not a Medicare yet, but I'm surely getting there, so I'm starting to
Yeah.
look it up, and so I might go there. But also, there's a G I heard. There's A, B, D, and G.
That's for your secondary insurance that has nothing to do with this program.
Okay.
But
All right.
just for the 379,677, is that mostly salaries for the people who
Salaries.
do this program?
Yeah, the salaries are included. The programs, you know, postage, right?
Mhm.
Program meeting expense, there's meals in there, that type of stuff, you know.
And just for fun, like, just for my sake, like a few programs apart from the Medicare.
Well, there's a lot of stuff,
Exercise, yeah.
anything from, you know, cards to marginal
Oh, okay.
to, you know, the exercise classes to
I
computer
have friends
classes.
from not seniors who are like so grateful for the mahjong because they want to learn and start their brain health now, but they, you know, they're sort of embarrassed to go somewhere else because they don't know how to play yet. So they're really grateful for that.
Oh, Eddie
Yeah.
does a lot of that training.
Has
So
there been any thought of like going to the New Canaan Community Foundation for grants for some of this offset?
we're just finishing a grant, which was through the state. And with that, that allowed us to extend our hours for a period of time. In general, the theory now is we'll be doing less of that. We've got some money in to do some of those programs, you know, to extend the hours, but we won't be doing as many.
Why not? I don't get that.
Mainly because of some people loved them and other people didn't. You know, we didn't. The cost benefit.
Okay. got it.
Yeah, so if there's some real popular ones, we might have to charge for some of that for the evening. We found out a lot of people came for the free food.
Because they always,
During the program, you know.
they always.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you do bridge?
Hmm?
Do you do bridge?
Oh, definitely bridge, yep.
Can I just add a little something here? I would like to emphasize to everyone that Lapham is not a senior center. It was never formed that way. It will never be that way. That's not the intention of a community center. It is to bring adults into learning and socialization and so forth, so that they are part of the entity of Lapham Community Center and age through their age in those programs. We have MSWs as our directors because those individuals are trained and sensitized to be aware as people go through the programs when there may be times that it's not so healthy for somebody to be driving and it's time to have a conversation with them or their families or, you know, their social workers. So you've got to get out of everybody's mind that it is only for seniors. It is not. And we have more and more, I was going to say younger 50-year-olds joining and becoming stimulated through the activities there. It's a complement to some of the things that happen at the library. And often when Lapham develops a new program, probably within 6 weeks, the library thinks it's a great idea and they develop one too.
Thank you for that clarification. I appreciate that. And I do actually have a couple of friends in their 50s enjoying the program.
Absolutely.
Thank you for all you do with that.
Lapham is for adults. It's not to become a kids section, but it is for adults. And I'm sorry, Patty.
Well, I've been fighting it for 30 years, so.
Well, now you have some more good PR people to do that. Okay.
Okay. Kiwanis Park. So Kiwanis Park, we're looking at a decrease. With that said, we have Kiwanis has some use, mainly this, as far as the swimming hole. The most of our expenses revolve around the swimming area. The Y use has it for their summer camp there, and you know, but we're just seeing we're going to be able to reduce it a little bit. So it's a $79,000 budget. It's not an expensive place.
We keep hearing updates about there's a committee that's doing
There's a master plan.
Master plan,
Actually,
yeah.
you know, Keith Simpson Associates have been working on a master plan. Keith Ritchie from the Park and Rec Commission was heading that. And
Mhm.
unfortunately, he passed away.
Mhm.
That put a little bit of kink in there. We've had some internal meetings, and we hope to get back into working on it again. But we're not at a place where we can say exactly what happened with the park.
You don't have a sense of like long-term needs yet. They're still sort of formulating that.
It's still formulating it, but it's not done.
Do they have like a time frame, like where they hope to be able to present something?
I'd love to say in the next 6 months,
Mhm.
but I have a feeling it might be a little bit longer than that. You know, because there's gonna need to be some community input.
Absolutely.
And, you know, it's, you know, I know what I'd like to see there, but that doesn't mean the community wants to see that there. So,
But have they come to you for your?
oh yeah, I've definitely been involved with all their meetings.
I know you dredged the pond last year.
Well, every spring we clean out the pond.
Mhm.
We actually have the highway come in, we drain all the water out, clean it out, we add some fresh sand. We supplement the water with a well. on site so that we can have some flow through it. And we're gonna be testing it, but we've been testing it, just make sure it's safe to swim.
And the relationship between Kiwanis Park and the Wise Summer Camp are you guys under your purview, or is that separate completely?
The Y Summer Camp is separate completely. They're basically, it's a landlord tenant
Okay,
type relationship. They pay the town, I believe, $15,000 a year for the use of the area for their summer camp.
and you guys have no oversight over that at all?
No, we work together with them. But it's on the infrastructure part of it, not on.
So we maintain it, if they say this is like
Yes, we don't run any of their programs.
murky or what have you, but that programmatically, it's all
Yes,
done.
programmatically, their registration, all of that's done just through the Y.
Cause you had concerns about that, right?
I do,
Yeah.
actually, a liability concerns, actually.
Okay,
Sometime, I mean, there's been a lot of change over, the Wise, who's running that, right, the guy Phil didn't work out, and last year Margot didn't work out. And there was stuff that went on that, had it gone badly, had somebody gotten hurt, the town could have been open to liability.
right.
So
There is, with that, there is insurance policies and stuff like that, but you're right, town always will be.
yeah, and I wonder if there needs to be a whistleblower.
Okay, I'll be glad to sit down with you and discuss all these things, you know, it comes through me, but their day-to-day operations, we don't oversee.
Okay, that's why.
But it'd be good to make sure things are going well, so. Okay. So, just to wrap it up, you know, with that 100,000 we talked about, you know, since it's just not being credited to us, we're really looking at a 2.95% increase over all the parks and recreation budgets.
Go back to why is Waveney House the 14% again?
It's mainly because of the wages of the we had Butch there. Butch is the town's handyman. His wages were being credited to Waveney House and not Rich's, who's at a lower rate. So we finally got it all straightened out. The right wages are going to the right place and will be in the future. So where we reduced the budget the last 2 years before that, we did have to come back up. So
Wait, so you're saying his wages weren't going to Waveney House in
It-
26?
Butch's yes, very simply, wages weren't being credited to the right place. And so we spent a lot of time to finally make sure the employees are being credited to the right place.
Where was it credited to in 2026?
Where are they
wages.
now?
No, where was his wages credited in 2026? Butch's.
So Butch being the utility repairman, he makes more money than the custodian at Waveney House. They were flip-flops. So the custodian was going towards the town's building maintenance fund. And Rich was and Butch, the more expensive one, was being credited to Waveney House. You know, now we've got the right people in the right place, the right number of hours and everything else. So that's why we had to go back.
Wait, yeah, but I'm confused. If Butch was being credited to Waveney House in 26, right?
Yeah, I said that backwards.
Backwards, yeah.
Yes. Okay, so it's that when Butch works event and everything, that
Yeah.
goes to our self-sustaining, but his other stuff that he does there at Waveney House gets credited towards us. Or gets charged towards us.
No, I'm trying to understand where his expenses were in 26. Where was it credited to in 26? Butch's expenses in 26. If it wasn't being credited to Waveney House, where was his cost being credited to in 26?
Towards Public Works, yes.
All right, so we should see a dip in Public Works on his budget, you're saying, in 27.
That's what you should see, yes.
Can go back to that.
I don't have any control over their budget.
No, I know, I'm just saying, it's like, if it's just a credit, we should get a credit back somewhere else, right, Penny?
I agree with you.
Yeah. Okay, that's all I'm just checking on, because that people are gonna ask 14%, like where it come from, like, okay, if there's an offset, there should be an offset somewhere.
Okay.
Okay.
You know what? And for our upcoming meeting, I can get more details on that.
Okay, that'd be
Yep.
great.
So now the rec.
Did you wanna ask that one question about,
Just where's the pool? The Benco pool.
We'll get to that.
Oh,
That's
okay.
completely separate, so.
Okay.
Yep. So now
Now we're moving to,
our recreation fund, which, our recreation fund is all our programs, so before and after school programs that we run at the schools. Our summer camp, which is held up at Waveney, soccer program, flag football, softball, racket sports. There's 3 separate ones there: tennis, paddle tennis, and pickleball, and then special events like our fall festival. So this is the big part of the self-sustaining fund. So we charge for participants, and then that money is used to pay for whether it's instructors or supplies, etc. So
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. I love that idea, right? And I think having the income, right, allows you to do more programs, things that better the community. What I worry about if you have all this income from doing this, but don't put it back in the programs, but it's used for capital for Waveney House, then that wasn't the initial purpose of the self-sustaining fund, right?
exactly. And
Yeah.
so presently for our recreation portion of that, we don't put it in toward anything goes towards capital. I think that would be for other people's decision making, not for us.
Right.
We very specific can only spend money towards our programs.
Yeah, which
So,
I think is a
like,
great thing for the community.
It works out well. We can still be the most affordable programs in the town. We
Right.
can still offer that, and
Yeah.
the town can still generate money. So we're truly charging the people that are using the programs. Very
See,
simple.
what I worry about if it's used for other things, right? Then all of a sudden there's going to be pressure for you to charge a lot more for programs to cover the cost of capital, right? That all of a sudden the cost of a program for softball or tennis or flag football, pickleball is going to go up because there's pressure from other places to use that to cover all the cost.
And that's true. And a lot of towns do that way. I live in Newtown, and the way they support their recreation capital projects is through their self-sustaining fund.
Yeah.
Instead of through taxpayers. So if they want to build new pickleball courts, they need to raise the money and
Right.
from that. But we don't do that now. That's
Right.
why we presently give the $100,000 back.
Yep.
At some point in time, we can see that there might be more than that should come back to the town.
So you're saying you have 115,000 profit, which is great, and you give 100,000 that back to the town?
It all stays in the town's account, so we're not truly touching the money except taking registration. So it's all still in the town's books, if that makes sense.
Okay.
But yes, each year, we're looking at charging $1,420,000 for our programs that we offer. And of those programs, it's going to be about $1.3 million in expenses.
Yep.
I do think that you guys should get that money back to be putting it towards this thing. I guess my real question is, why is the margin so different? You make a ton on flag football, you make very little on paddle tennis. Why is the margins different?
It's based on registration, right? So flag football will get 450 kids. Our paddle tennis right there, that's for all of our programs that we run. So different programs that we run, the memberships that come in as well. So pretty much like summer camp, for instance, we do a big summer camp program. So we do 140 kids, we do that, whereas softball is very low. We only have 90 guys that play. So it's based on registration numbers, what we charge. We then take that money that comes in and put it back into the program. So that's for summer camp. It's our arts and crafts, our supplies, our gaga and stuff like that is what we use that money for to go back into the program. Pretty much simple. It's money in, money out. And
And a lot of it's program specific. Tennis, you can see it fairly high numbers. That's to pay the instructors.
we have a huge children's population for our tennis program, whereas pickleball and paddle, we have a bigger adult. So tennis is why it's so much bigger, is because we do a lot of children programs in the summer camps, week long, stuff like that.
And like pickleball, since we only have 5 courts right now, we're limiting. Our instructors would like to teach more classes. We're limiting them because we also want the courts available to the public. If we had 100 courts, okay, but yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. So part of the self-sustaining fund is also weddings. You know, it's weddings that are held at Waverly. With that said, the money it's all in one self-sustaining fund, but the money is kept separate or is accounted separately. So right now, I think our income is gonna probably go up from the 200,000. We've been having a lot of bookings recently, which helps. So
Are you all booked out for this entire season?
pretty much. Right now, we're closed because the elevator's going in, so we don't have any events going on right now. But we only rent Waveney for weddings and events Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So that's so that the community still has time to use them.
And there's very few limited dates because as a recreation department, we try to do some of our special events on the weekends. It's very tough to juggle like that. There's a lot of
We
currently.
charge what, 6K?
We charge anywhere from 6K. It's revolving depending on the time of the year. Since it's
Okay.
mainly weddings, June's a big month.
Of course.
You know, September's a big month.
Surge
no air-
pricing, right?
Hmm?
Not surge pricing, but like,
Yeah.
premium pricing.
But like in July and August, it's very hot. So we don't have many weddings and there's no air conditioning in Waveney House.
But is that coming? Is that coming?
It's in the budget request, but
Yeah.
who knows?
Yeah.
It hasn't been approved yet by any means. So things like that, you know, wintertime, yes, we have Christmas parties, but you're not having many weddings around Christmas. So,
Okay.
you know, and we're a little bit low. I think our income will go up, you know. We're worried about some of the work that needs to go on at Waveney House. We had a big repointing project that isn't finished, but it's going very well and helped the house from having water come in. Right now, the elevator's being installed. That won't affect this budget, but it has affect how we can show the house because the contractors work it there. So we're not 100% sure where we're gonna be with our income.
And all we're doing is renting the house. There's no add-on like you do like, we're not the caterers, we're not the people doing the tables and the chairs and.
No, we have a guy there,
Okay.
you know, to this house supervisor during that. The only add-on really is that they can also rent the wall guard.
But I thought there was a staff person, I forget her name, but she doesn't coordinate with like.
She does, and her salary comes out of
Yeah.
here. She's the one that's giving the tours, Rachel Lambert,
Okay.
so. Okay. Now we're on Steve Banko Pool. So Steve Banko Pool, since it sits by itself, it's basically its own self-sustaining fund per se, since it paid off the bond, etc. We're at 21 years old now. Our request is 7.5% increase, mainly because we're looking at that the pool's getting older, chemicals. The other big one is a lot of our lifeguards is minimum wage, and minimum wage is going up again. So that costs us more money, so that's why we'll get 7.5%.
So you're saying it's a self-sustaining fund, but this is the net negative of the self-sustaining fund?
No, nothing, I probably shouldn't have said self-sustaining, the pool was built with a loan from the town, from everything I know, and then that was paid off over time, and now the pool runs independently. So our memberships pay for the pool to run. When I say that, a membership sold, we have that money to run the pool.
Right. So what's the 630,000 for then? It's over.
That's our budget for the summer season, basically.
But does it pay for itself?
It pays for itself.
Yeah.
If we need money coming in to pay the 630,000.
What do the memberships bring?
The membership, well, Zach, you might be able to help me.
Yeah, so you're looking for like numbers, you're saying? Yeah, so I mean, individual last year, we did 167, we did 823 family, we did 125 non-resident, we did 85 nanny, and 230 senior is what we did last year for memberships only.
Yeah.
So it's more than $600,000 to cover the cost, you're saying, based on membership fees, right?
Yes, we cover our own costs at the pool.
And there's a snack bar, is that?
The snack bar, we do not run the snack bar, we have an outside contractor, same company that runs Apple Cart, down in Meat Park.
Okay.
And they pay us rent.
But so you meet the 630, 700, and then do you have overage that goes back into?
It stays in its own account.
Okay.
Yeah, for capital projects. projects. Like last year, we were able to install a second pump, which you have to circulate the water in a pool all the time. And without a second pump, you'd be shut down for 4 or 5 days potentially until one was repaired. That type
So
of
does
stuff.
the town funds the 630, but the town doesn't get the membership fees? Is that what you're
No.
saying?
Town doesn't fund the 630.
It's fun.
The funds.
Okay,
the
the
Pool funds itself.
Yeah.
the pool funds. Okay, got it.
So that's great. It funds itself and then some, you know, improvements.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yep. It
So
takes.
why do you need to have a request there? The fund funds itself. Why does there need to be a request for this 630?
It's always been in our budget to present it. So I think just since we're spending the money, the boards need to make sure that they approve it,
Okay.
is my feeling.
Yeah, like I don't know what the rules are, but I remember like that discussion over like that the playground that's going into Waveney, that like you have to still show the total
Got it.
amount, even if you're getting money coming in from,
Right.
because we still have to approve. the
Yeah.
exact
Okay.
numbers.
Yes, and you need to approve the board of selectmen need to approve when we purchase stuff.
Right.
You know, that type of stuff.
Okay, but it's not coming out of town funds. Got it.
It's not coming out of town funds.
But 7.5, it's higher, 7.5% higher than last year.
Exactly.
Okay, got that.
Yep.
You're gonna raise the rates to join?
We raised the out of town rates and we think it's time next year to raise the in-town rates.
Yeah.
We've been pretty steady. The out of towners that we let in there,
Mhm.
really do help us offset the cost, which helps keep the town rates lower.
Yeah.
So. It's a good value. We're under, for family, it's under $500.
And we use
For
it
the
for
summer
as
camp.
well. Yeah, we use it for like our summer camp, which is awesome to us to have. We do swim lessons there too, but the YMCA do swim lessons, so it's really a great asset for the town, which is awesome.
So can I ask one question that I don't have an accounting background, so when, and I'm not looking at this overall, but there'll be a line that says that the cost, you know, 630, 700. Going into your overall budget, is there something that offsets it so that does it go into the cumulative amount that it's saying that this is what the overall budget is for?
Not into your town budget.
Yeah.
It stays completely separate.
Okay,
Yeah, so it's just a footnote. It's not a part of the overall rec budget. You're saying, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
okay,
It's really completely separate.
thank you, that answers,
All right.
thank you.
Just so everybody has the terminology in your head that you then refer what's going on with the pool. It's an enterprise zone.
That's
And
Wow,
we created those on and John, I can't remember what else we have. Isn't there something at the railroad that is an enterprise zone?
I believe at the railroad and also, you know, in a way, there's an enterprise zone for the renting of the turf fields.
Right, okay. So that the activity within the enterprise zone stays right in that. It's like it's its own accounting,
Right.
you know, revenue and expenses. It doesn't get melded into the town budget. It's
Yeah.
its own entity. So put that in your head. It's as a, you know, name to, you know, refer to it. It's an enterprise zone.
thank you for that clarification, it's a lot of sense.
Okay, so that's our operating budget section. I'm not 100% sure who should hear the capital, but I'd love to be able to go through it if you
Right,
guys.
we
if
would
you
love to
could.
hear that.
Yeah, I'd love to hear the capital.
Okay. So, we have three sections of capital. So the parks infrastructure is improvements to properties. So, you know, the first one, the field improvements, at 55,000, that is mainly used by Ryan hiring contractors to keep our baseball, softball fields and other athletic fields, but mainly baseball and softball fields in a safe playing condition, removing lips, adding clay, that type of project. Irrigation upgrades, there's two things in here. 300,000, we're looking to redo the 25-year-old plus sprinklers and piping at the high school. So that's for the track field and also the farm road field. But there's also 100,000 in there to upgrade our well at Saks School. where, you know, the well is now very old and it's not putting out as much water. So we either have to improve that well or possibly drill another well. So that's separated into two separate sections.
It's not on town water.
Definitely not in town.
Wow.
The one reason why, you know, you could argue either way, which way to go. We could be under water restrictions for town water. So if we have very limited time to seed the fields because of the amount of clay. So if we were trying to do that in the summertime, we need to water every day, and then we'd have water restrictions and aquariums would shut us off.
Well, I don't know if we have, I mean, I do feel there's water restrictions going on. Perhaps we shouldn't be watering the fields in the summer.
Well, if we do that, then we're gonna compromise the safety during the regular season because we need that recovery time. So I know what you're saying, by using the well water, we're not having that restriction put out upon us, so we can water to the best health of the grass, which improves our conditions. And we're not taking away from the public water supply. New Canaan's in permanent water restrictions with Aquarium because there's just not enough water to get through the year.
You could take your ideas to Planet New Canaan and let them do a grassroots effort to change things, but it's not on John's.
No, yeah.
That's not his wheelhouse, right?
No, I'm just asking questions.
Yeah.
I'm not-
That's fine.
Fair enough. Well, they're interesting and valid.
It's a big number.
It's a big number.
Okay.
It is a big number. That's to replace the sprinklers. And there's, you know. Could we go back and not irrigate fields? Yes, but then you're also sacrificing the safety of the kids that use them. The participants, not just kids. So. It's just another, for Ryan and his team, for us, it's another tool in our toolbox. You know, when a field's dry and goes dormant. And you have clay out there, you're killing the grass.
Mhm.
And then once you kill it, you don't have it, you get dirt, you get, you know, holes, etc. You know, it's also like fertilizer. Then, you know.
But I think just so that these guys can move on, I think it's valid points and two channels you can go through, like Planet New Canaan for grassroots activism, but also like the Conservation Commission to sort of bring up,
Mhm.
you know, New Canaan's water usage, but it's,
Yeah.
you guys
Yep.
have to budget for what you're doing.
Yep. Next year wall repair is for all the mini brick walls, outside brick walls up at Waveney House. So, playground safety, that's when, with the playgrounds, when something breaks, we need to repair it, but we also have to have them inspected each year to make sure that they're safe. So we have playgrounds at Dixon Park, Mead Park, we'll have Waveney. Yep, so.
Do you have to? Is the initial inspection like baked into the cost of?
The initial
Yeah.
inspection, they have to provide us with
Yeah.
a safe playground, but the following spring.
Yeah.
Will be need to have them inspected, so. Fence backstop replacement, we've gone up $10,000, mainly because we gotta replace some fence at the dog park. Also, besides our routine fence, we have fences everywhere that always need upkeep. The chain link fence around fields, etc., and replacements, so that's what that is.
I have to say as an aside, like I so desperately need to replace a fence around my pool. It's working, so don't send the police out to work, but it's just so expensive.
It's very
Like,
expensive.
every time you keep reducing which way you're gonna do it, but it blows my mind the cost of fencing
Yes,
community.
so, paddle tennis heaters upgrade, the 26,000 is to replace heaters. At two of the paddle courts, we have 5 paddle courts, we're looking to do 2 each year. Talking to some of the paddle groups out there, there's a chance they're gonna start raising money, and hopefully we can either offset this number, or maybe we can do a 3rd paddle court next year, and then that would reduce the ultimate cost. Over the next 3 years, we'd like to replace all the heaters in the 5 courts we have, doing 2 a year for the first year and then finish it up. So Waveney trail construction, there's one main trail that goes between the high school and goes over to basically to the Y. And it's that trail that we want to finish for the $30,000 with the new, cleaning out the stuff that's there. And then,
And because you have, I mean, there's all this other work that the Conservancy is doing.
that's a separate,
and that's-
separate thing.
Yeah.
They completely separate there. This is just for that trail up by the
Yeah.
high school that we want to continue with the new stone
Mhm.
and also have the proper drainage and everything else there. So completely separate from the Conservancy's plans. And then the last one, clay infield replacement with a backstop. When Cockle Field was built, they removed one softball field there. We would like to replace it for the girls. The young girls need an infield to practice on because they used to use that other one. So this won't be something used for men's softball because it's too close to Cockle, but it's replacing that clay, adding some irrigation. And since most of the young girls play their game, their practices on the infield only, they don't ever get it out of there. It's a perfect location. So
I think there'll be a lot of people who are happy to hear about this. That the girls are
Where is this? Where is this exactly? That sounds great. Where's it?
yeah, where it will be is very close to the same place that there used to be a field near the pool. It was a men's softball field.
Yeah.
And when they built Cockle Field with the fence in the outfield, that wasn't able to stay there. But for the little kids, this will work out great for them.
Oh, okay. That's great. So it's where the old men's softball field was by the pool.
In that general location, we're gonna move it just a little bit, but yes, in the general location, same place, yes.
Oh, I got you. Great. So what happened to the men's softball field?
The men's softball field was taken away. We're still
When
working
Cockle-
through problems. Yeah, when Cockle was built, we lost one of our two
No,
men.
I didn't know that. Okay. Good thing I retired from that 4 years ago.
That was much discussed at the time, like in the
Yeah.
back and forth. So
Yeah.
I'm really happy the little girls are getting some.
No, that's great. I think it's awesome. I think this is a great thing for them.
The one other thing, just to be aware of, we proposed $1 million to put turf in the two girls softball fields at Waveney. This was a request through the Girls Softball Association.
Yeah.
The Board of Selectmen said, we'd like to have more study in, see about possible fundraising involved with the Athletic Foundation, so they pushed that out 1 year.
Okay.
So
What happened to the pickleball courts at Waveney that you were doing?
okay, we're gonna skip ahead for that.
That's
Okay.
So yeah, so we're presently in the design phase, and this is not a final plan by any means. But we're working with Keith. We've hired Keith Simpson and Associates to design two sets. So 4 pickleball courts up at the paddle courts.
Yeah.
So in the left area, you can see the 5 existing paddle courts. The dark brown is the paddle warming hut. We think this will be a great location to add 4 pickleball courts with lights at Waveney. We presently have money for that. We wanted to have construction done already so that they'd be ready for spring, but with all of the planning and everything from, making sure the water stays on site and everything else, we're not there yet, but we're still working towards it.
Just one slight change too, is in the master plan, the 2 sets of courts would be combined together.
Yeah.
I know that this is one older version that was the latest version that we had, but that was discussion as well.
What do you mean combined together?
Having it one linear, so 4 courts all combined into one.
So instead of having the separation you see there, there'll still be a fence separating them, but it's just made it more seamless.
So and if this number here, it would be 275 for 4 courts?
Yeah, so you're talking that's last year's number, right?
Oh, was that last year?
Yeah, that's already in the budget for last year, right?
Correct. That money was approved for basically
What is that, 275?
200,000, 275. Just want to make sure I'm gonna send money.
Oh, is that?
That's high school tennis lights. That's down the road.
Okay, so it's not the new courts.
If you look in the left-hand column, it's 200,000 is what we
Okay.
have to build.
And it's still there.
It's still there. We spent a little bit to get the design
Right.
done, and we still plan on going forward, yes.
When do you think it's going to be completed now, John?
We haven't got our budget estimates from them yet. Our last meeting a couple weeks ago, that's what we were discussing. We need budget estimates. Truly what we're gonna be able to, what they're gonna cost us.
Yeah. So what are you thinking?
I'd be guessing, the way prices have been going lately, I'm worried that 200,000 might not be enough.
So you would think you would have to come back for additional?
Yes, and I would have liked to have had that number already so that we could talk about it.
Right.
It's a lot of
So
money.
you got 750 in capital improvements on that first slide. Now you're telling us that there's 200 plus here.
Well, this 200 was approved,
Right,
but it might go up to
but
that, it might not too. There's a lot of subsurface drainage that has to be there, so we have to have net zero flow.
Yeah.
And when you put in a hard surface like that, we have to collect the water and get it back into the groundwater. That stuff like that adds up. So
So you're saying that 200 already is included in last year's budget. If anything, the incremental would come into this year's budget, right? If there's an incremental.
yes, I'm hoping before we even sit with the Board of Finance, we know that number.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'll be
We
great.
pushed them hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be good to get that number before
Yep.
Board of Finance meeting.
When do you go before that? When do you?
Uh,
Don't wait.
This month. I don't remember when, but not next week, the week
I think
after.
a couple weeks from now.
Yeah, I think it's a couple weeks. So, and Keith knows that we need that number. They're working on it. So,
Michael, with the overarching mindset of everybody is that we've got to cut. Is this the kind of thing that will get cut? Not make it into this year's budget?
No, Penny, it won't get cut because it was approved last year. And
No, I
pickleball.
know, but it's an adder, and and the tension in the air that I was sensing from the Board of Selectmen is that, this is really, we got to cut. So we've got to cut the right things is where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's an over demand for this, Penny.
Yeah.
I know, but
and this might be where, in this case, where the town should look at it, town meaning us, look at it and say, since we have lights, since this is a brand new thing, pickle membership numbers should be increased.
Right.
Since you're gonna be able to play, we don't have noise concerns at Waveney Park, so since you're gonna be able to play, maybe we turn the lights on at 5 in the morning when, so early play. And then in the evening we can play, since there's gonna be the additional costs that way. That's stuff that
No, I think it's a great idea. You should charge membership fees for that. Absolutely. There's a huge benefit because a lot of people work in the city and come and can't play till 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock. And having lights is a huge thing, and which Mead Park can't have lights, so they don't get a chance. So you get a growing number of people that would sign up for the membership because of lights.
Exactly. Yep. And so have a different membership class for Waveney, that type of thing. Or a daily usage fee, like if you went to play pickleball at the Stanford Mall, you're paying for it.
Have you thought about doing what the pool does and charging out of town membership too?
The only reason we have thought about it, but the only reason we haven't been charging an out of town membership is our courts are too busy as is. And we're afraid that we'll have too many people out of towners wanting to use them where the residents won't be able to have the time. We get complaints that I couldn't get a time.
The Y is getting that complaint big time.
Okay.
Too many out of towners are using YMCA.
Mhm. So, so that's our concern with opening up a membership for out of towners right now.
Yeah.
They can still
Yeah.
play, they just use a guest fee is what they do, they pay $15 per play right now currently.
Yeah, I think we should think about it because I know at Mead Park there's like guest fees, but nobody pays the guest fees. They show a in-towner comes in and reserves a court, and it rarely is it enforced.
We have completely upgraded our attendants down there that are actually going out on the courts to collect the guest fees if they think they're going to get rid of it. So our guest fee numbers are much better.
Yeah, but I think this is a good idea where you have lights and you can get an additional membership and make it self-sustaining from an operating point of view going forward.
So you could see that, you could see it being self-sustaining.
I could. And this would be, again, self-sustaining is not set up for capital projects, but this could be, if you wanted to say, okay, we're gonna charge this membership fee for these courts. And this amount of it's gonna go back into either the maintenance or even the building of them, that type of thing.
My concern is just, I happened to be at the, well, not happened, I was on the committee, Board of Ed committee, yes, last night. And the Board of Finance cut 1.7 from the Board of Ed's budget. For
No, that's not true. We didn't cut 1.7 of the board's budget.
1.2 for the PA and 500 for the parking lot in the east.
No, we just talked about it. We didn't cut any of that. We just asked if it was a must-have, right? And Brian Lutzy said he thinks it's a must-have. Todd just asked the question: is it a must-have or is it nice to have? But we haven't cut anything yet. We haven't made any decisions on that yet, Mike.
I got that.
Right.
That against the backdrop of building pickle courts with lights, it could look bad.
Now, I disagree. I think we got to do both. I think we got to look at everything. We got to grow the rec business. This has already been approved last year. So the 200,000, but I think we got to grow our rec program for seniors and other people. We got to grow our Board of Education programs where it's needed. I think we can't just say it's all 100% education and we're not going to spend any money on recreation. We can't say it's going to be all about recreation, not for our kids. I think we got to, as the Board of Finance, we got to look to do both. And I think growing community programs, and I think is a very good thing, and it's already been approved. I don't think it's a trade-off between Board of Ed versus rec. You look at each one on a standalone basis and see if it makes sense. If it makes sense, we should fund it. If it doesn't make sense, we shouldn't fund it. But we shouldn't trade off Board of Ed requests with recreation requests.
And I also think for the most part, you guys run this is a pretty lean.
I think so.
And sustains itself, and we don't need to relitigate this because it's in the past now. I mean, I could see to your point 2 years ago with a big ticket item like Capo or something, but that ship sailed, and now we'll have a great, another crown jewel for the town. But like, I think the ticket items are so small for this. We don't want to skin it too much. Like, I would hate to see like, hey, we really have to show savings. Let's get rid of the softball field. That would be tragic for me.
Personally, I'd agree with you, and I think Ryan would be the same way. That would be a tremendous addition for the girls' program to get it back to where it was. So.
And last year, just quick number, talking about pickleball guest fees, we did 304 last year, so $15, so like $4,500 what we got last year just from guest fees from non-residents. So we collected 301 of those guest fees from pickleball players.
And I think this is the only sport I see where families play together, kids with their parents, with their grandparents, and brings a lot of families. There's no other sport where I see parents and kids and grandparents all play together and have a great time. So I'm 100% for this.
It's one of the only sports out there where you don't have to be great and you can play with somebody that's pretty good and you both can enjoy yourselves. A lot of times, there's so many sports where if you're not good, you don't want to be there, but you can play pickleball.
This is the only sport I know that you can do that with.
Yeah.
So just to recap on this, that you have the 200 that was approved.
Yep.
You're gonna have like hopefully our real number to present to the Board of Finance in the upcoming weeks. So is there a possibility then if they approve that we could see these courts for this year?
Yes, we're in the design process. If in a perfect world, the cost estimates for construction will come in just under $200,000, and then we can just keep moving forward. We won't be coming back looking for more money.
Okay.
The design is gotten bigger than what we were presuming.
Well, I think we need to pressure Keith to give us a number sooner rather than later.
Okay, I'll make a phone call this afternoon.
Thanks.
Yep. Okay, so let's back up to our parks capital equipment. So this is all the maintenance equipment for the parks maintenance. With the number of vehicles we have, every now and then we have to hit a year where we need to replace 2 vehicles. That's what this is. It's replacing 2 of the vehicles. In general, our trucks were used for plowing, maintenance, etc. we get 10 years out of it. That's what we project. We do that pretty well. There's one of our bigger trucks that doesn't have as much usage, and that we think we can get around 15 years, but it's the year where we need to replace two. Utility vehicle, that is one of the smaller vehicles, but can also hold weight, capacity, soil, etc. For when we're doing maintenance on the fields. This time of year, it has a sander in the back to sand sidewalks.
Is it a little dump truck?
It's like a little dump truck, but you'd probably think of it more as a golf cart. But at 52,000, it's not a golf cart. It's heavy duty, 4-wheel drive that can do the job. The two that we have now, this would be replacing one of them. The two that we have are Toro Workman. We're always open to other ones, but they've worked out very well for us. The $14,000 ride-on mower, that's the zero-turn mowers. You'll see the guys mowing lots of properties with them. We get about 8 years out of those mowers, and this is to replace one. Miscellaneous equipment and attachments. Instead of having a whole bunch of small items, we included these together. And Ryan, maybe you can quickly talk about those 4 items for this year.
Right, so as far as the miscellaneous equipment and attachments, this includes, as John mentioned earlier in the presentation, but a mechanical way to remove weeds. So this is one attachment that we could put on a current piece of equipment that we have. It's a Ventrac, and it's essentially it's a very, very slow machine that gets rid of broadleaf weeds by just driving over it, and it's like a cylinder brush sort of that pulls weeds out, and then you would follow up by raking or blowing and removing all those weeds. And the more you do it, you'll get rid of them. So along with that, as we're taking over the small areas such as town hall, the rose garden, grass treatments, we're looking to get some additional equipment for that. So a ride-on sprayer and a fertilizer, so granular fertilizer piece of equipment, along with a walk-behind aerator seeder. And there was one other item that I can't remember off the top of my head at the moment, but that's some piece of equipment that we have in mind. So.
We compared the pricing towards outsourcing those things and bringing in.
Yes,
Okay.
that's part of how we were able to lower our cost of our products, but also doing the work in-house. Most of our equipment, like the weed remover, besides there's going to be maintenance, so like on anything, but we think we probably can get 10 to 15 years out of that piece of equipment. And we can't find a contractor that has one that's willing to do this service. It's a very slow process.
It's like an aerator almost.
It's got a rubber drum, and they're picking up the top. You're removing the leaves of the plants, and over time it dies.
Right, and as you add more seed, it creates a bigger seed bank, which more opportunity.
So the brush cutter, that's actually it's labeled brush cutters because it goes back and forth, but it's a mower that would go on the back of an existing tractor we have, which would mainly be used for cutting the large fields, like Waveney for the fireworks, Irwin for our yearly mowing up there, that type of stuff. An artificial field groomer. So with having all these artificial fields we have, this is to replace one that's about 10 years old. We presently keep 2. One's a smaller one than the other, but this is to replace the older one of those because we need to vacuum and keep the artificial fields safe and clean. So, the snowplow tractor mount. When you think of a snowplow at $30,000, this is the workhorse for us. For use for Waveney and the school parking lots. The Parks Department does all the plowing of the parking lots at the schools. So this is a workhorse a plow that opens up to about 14 feet, if I remember correctly. It would mount on an existing tractor. We have one now. This is an addition, and it really helps us out, especially with a big storm like that. Salt spreader body is to go in the back of our hook lift truck to replace an old one that's about 15 years old, 14, 15, I think. And then light towers. We presently keep 5 light towers that are used for special events. that type of stuff, and this is to replace one of the ones that is about 25 years old. So. Okay, and then the last little section of capital, the budget director put this into recreation capital, so there's two parts to it. New technology at Lapham Center. It's time, if not overtime, to upgrade the computers, the projectors, that type of equipment at Lapham. So we have 35,000 for all that work. And then the other one is an audio system and installation at Waveney House. This is so that when you actually use the mic, people in the other rooms can hear. And we also want to be able to have some speakers on the back patio and the west porch. So when there's an event of any type, somebody speaking can actually be heard everywhere instead of having to climb and get it all into one room. So
John,
Hey,
do you
John,
have lavaliers with this?
I'm sorry.
Do you have lavaliers with this as opposed to just a permanent mic on a podium?
It won't be yes, it would be all Bluetooth mics, etc. We're right now we're looking at even the speakers will be Bluetooth that we can control, so we could turn off one room and use it just in the other room, that type of stuff.
But
I meant lapel
Yes.
horn things, because a lot of your speakers, wander around and
Exactly. Ultimately, we'd like to have both, so that if somebody wants to hold a microphone, they can. If it's in front of a podium because multiple people are speaking, but if somebody's doing a presentation, yes.
But the main thing, what you're saying is with this new audio system, because there's the main room, but then there's like the two going there, that, because I think that could really up your business with the weddings too, because I think that's a criticism that I often hear is that.
And for town meetings.
Yeah.
Because right now, if you're using the mic in one room, it's going to all the rooms.
Yeah.
So you can't use the other room for stuff.
Everybody wants to use.
Exactly.
And everybody.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the 45,000 one was the part that they were talking about, that money maybe should come out of the wedding funds, the self-sustaining fund.
Yeah.
But that's not our decision, we're presenting, that Board of Selectmen suggested that.
Okay.
I think it ultimately would be the Board of Finance,
Yeah, no, that'd be us, yeah.
yeah, okay. But that was just for conversation, so you know what they were thinking.
John, I'm sure the Board of Finance is going to ask you the same question they asked the Board of Education yesterday. Is like, of all these capital requests, is there anything you can put off for a year without impacting your programs, right? Like if it impacts a program, then yeah, we need it this year. But can any of this stuff be delayed a year without impacting the quality of your programs?
I want to look at it a little bit more, and I can have that answer for you even before.
Yeah, I just want you to be prepared for the Board of Finance. Is that question probably will be asked?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no problem. Of course, anything could be put off. If the decision is that you can't buy.
Oh no, I'll give you an example. I'll give you an example. Like if you put off, if let's say you need more money for the pickleball courts, and you put off a year, then you can delay the quality of your program and having the courts ready for a year. That impacts your program.
Yeah.
Some of this stuff can you do and wait a year without impacting your program, the quality that you serve over the next year? That's the question, right? Because that's the question I asked the Board of Ed. Like, can you get away with waiting a year and still have, because they do have a PA system exam. So that was the question they asked. Brian gave a great answer on why he thinks it would impact the program if it was put off a year. So that's the question that they're going to ask you. Like, what can you put off a year without impacting your programs?
Understand.
The only thing, but another way to look at it with the audio system is that with that system, Waveney House becomes a lot more attractive as a venue, so you would be able to, it wouldn't impact the existing programs, but it could mean more revenue for the future.
Right.
So that's a tough one to
Right.
sort of.
Well, that impacts the program, I think, then, right? So that would impact the program. But like, go back to your page before that, right?
Under equipment?
Yeah, like, could any of this stuff, could you get away with using what you have currently for a year, right? Or this absolutely is going to break down if we don't replace it?
I would, in a way, they're not in a priority list exactly that way, but the bottom two items, because the salt spreader body, even though it's old, it is working fine today.
Yeah.
So we could probably put that off. And again, the light towers, we're replacing something that we feel is very old. If we go down to 4 light towers, there'd be times where we say, sorry, we only have 4. We can't
Where
have,
are those light towers?
they're portable. So
Oh.
they're little trailers, like we take them for the caroling.
No, no,
Last
exactly.
thing,
There's
that
two
type of
ice
stuff.
right now.
2 at the ice, right, that's used. So could we get away with that? Yeah, there might be times where we would have to say, no, we don't have a 4th light tower, or we don't have a 5th light tower, I mean, we only have 4. That's what we have to use.
Right.
This could be a possible example as well, for instance, Waveney House with that audio system. If Waveney House is flipping a profit itself through this self-sustaining fund, maybe some of those for that expense of the 45 can help offset those costs there. What the Waveney
Right.
House does back into the program of the Waveney House, so we could get creative with that.
Right. That's great. So those would be great answers, but I think that question is going to come up at the Board of Finance.
Okay.
meeting.
That's good. And we'll appreciate the heads up. We'll put more thought into that too. Yep.
Great.
What were you gonna say?
I question the 50K on that thing that you said, that only in that it sounds to me that you could get the same results with an aerator.
No, not at all.
No.
An aerifier actually promotes weeds because you're loosening up the soil, you're bringing the seeds, the weed seeds back up. So this is actually by over time killing the weed, and that 50,000 has 4 separate items in there too. So that would be one that would be, trucks. We need trucks to get around. That would be high on our list.
Okay.
Of priorities.
Can I ask one question that's gonna be controversial with Michael, but it's just sort of like thinking because of the way you asked your questions, but if the lighting for the pickle isn't gonna come in until 27, 28, and you were talking about like.
No, that was originally lighting for the Mead Park pickleball courts.
Oh, okay.
The main reason it's pushed way out there is we're at a point right now where we don't think it's a good idea because of the neighbors.
Right.
So that's why it's sitting out there. We're not ready to go. I could see that disappearing. If the 4 courts at Waveney have lighting and are very successful, maybe we don't need to light the 5 courts at Mead Park.
But where's the lighting?
The lighting's included in the 200,000.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay. Take it back, my question. Right.
Yeah, I agree with them. The neighbors, if I'm a neighbor on Mead Park area, because the neighbor's pretty close, I know they would not be happy. How's that? If I'm
Exactly. We've received complaints. We have to keep the courts locked at night.
They don't like
Yeah.
the sound also. They already complain about
Yeah,
that.
I think I have empathy, even though I love pickle. I have empathy for the neighbors there. I think Waveney Park is in a much better spot where you're not disturbing the neighbors.
That's a good argument.
Exactly.
But
So-
tell them you could possibly save the 120.
Yeah, so down the road, we could see that lighting, we're not gonna need the money. This is a 5-year plan. There's always adjustments made to it.
Great.
Okay. So with that, thank you again.
Well, thank you so much. This is all so interesting, and I get so inspired because I love hearing all the excellent things that you guys do. And thank you, Penny and Michael, for asking excellent questions, and Penny, for you, as always, teaching me a thing or two about proper nomenclature. I want to be much more precise than I am.
No, I thank you for setting this up, Jennifer, and I think it's a great job, great presentation. It's a big part of our town is the recreation. So, and the parks being well kept and maintained. It's the pride of our town. Obviously, the school system is a big part. The fire and safety and police are another big part. The town center is a big part, and having beautiful, a movie theater and restaurants. But the recreation, the parks are a big part of our town too. So, thank you for all you do, John, and your team.
We
For a
appreciate
great
it. Thank
job
you.
doing it.
We always like to say, people always say they come to town for the schools, but they're really coming for the parks.
Parks.
I have good school systems.
I think
Okay.
hey, John, they come for the school system, but they stay for the parks.
Oh, I like that.
That's it.
That's our new tagline.
Yeah.
All right. Well, speaking of that, are you going back to the pickleball courts now, Michael?
No, I did it this morning already, so I'm done for the day. Now it's catching up on my other work.
Oh, okay. All right, you guys, are we good to say goodbye?
See ya. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for your time.
And John, what time of day is good for you to have me, get a,
I'm here early in the morning till whatever time works best. We can make it work.
okay, and you want Kathy at the meeting, right?
I'd like Kathy at the meeting. I'd like Marcy too. Marcy,
Oh, okay, got it.
Yep.
Got it.
Okay.
So I will check with them and their schedules and then try to work around it.
sounds great. Thank you.
Okay,
Thanks,
all right,
guys.
okay?
See you.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Stop recording and then, yes.